they pick up Galio here, their team fight is just crazy, you know? They just need to press some buttons and they're gonna automatically win the team fight. And I was worrying about the early game, right? Because of Evelynn, but I think they filled up with Renekton and Kalista Pantheon in the bot lane. So I think they made the difficulty a lot easier than before. And T1 side, I think it's more standard in LCK, most of the picks. And I think they have obviously easier tool than DRX, but yeah. The point is Evelynn good into Lillia? Because Pyosik counterpicked it. They picked into it, right? So
yeah, right.
That is my question. Because yesterday they actually hovered it. That means maybe in scrims there is so many Evelynns, but no one tried on stage, you know. And this is the first time, so we are gonna see the matchup.
Well, I think at level 6, Evelynn, if she ever finds Lillia, should be able to kill her, right? Lillia is not necessarily a champion that is going to spike until after 2 items. And Evelynn just needs runic echoes, and then she runs around the rift, destroying everyone. So, looking forward to seeing what Pyosik can get done here. He also has a Galio in his back pocket, and a Pantheon that can also come to back up. So, I think that this game is going to revolve around what Pyosik can get done, and whether or not Cuzz can safely scale and steal away all of these camps as much as possible. But, I mean, Evelynn works similarly to that of Nidalee. Like, she farms pretty quickly throughout the jungle, and can skirmish very early on. But looking forward to seeing how Pyosik is going to make this one work. The first Evelynn that we're going to see for the summer split. Of course, happy birthday to Tarzan. He is one of our more famous Evelynn players, and it's his birthday here today.
He's not even in LCK yet.
We still need to wish him happy birthday. We all want him to come back.
Yeah, I guess he's just truly Evelynn in real life.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they backdoored a base with an Evelynn. Just last caressing her way over a wall and getting on in there.
That is true. And it seems like DRX, they're gonna try something in level 1. And I'm not sure if they are gonna win in level 1 when they invade on the red side, because T1 has Ashe and Nautilus. And
yeah. Well, you can see DRX are poised. Try and get over here as Deft. He just wants to pierce his way through, gets himself the ward, lines it up beautifully.
Failed.
Into the brush. Oh, was that failed?
Yeah.
Oh, no. I thought it was lined up. I thought it looked good. Sometimes you scar her, sometimes you don't, I guess. Oh, Teddy could be in trouble here. Spear is going to land. Slow comes in. Cuzz lying in wait. As the charm was taken first there by Pyosik. Interesting. Unless that was just a hate spike, which it might have been. I haven't seen the animations on this particular Evelynn skin yet as he steals away the Raptor camp. And there's the flash forward from Effort. Does land it onto Keria there, who's down to 200 health. Looks like T1 won't be able to get forward though, as Deft throws out a rend. And the Winds of War will cause T1 to back away.
That was really hasty from DRX, and I thought it was really great reaction by T1, but the flash from Pyosik was kind of saved from DRX side, because if he got CC'd, then I think Teddy's gonna get him. But yeah, kind of traded, but I'm not sure like if it was needed from DRX, but I feel like they just want to make it confused for T1 side, because as I mentioned, the difficulty about the team comp is like for T1 side, you know, and a lot easier.
Yeah.
So they just need to make it random a little bit. And
well, you can see Cuzz is coming on over, looking to try and steal this one away. To watch out Eep to get rid of a lot of these minions, as Pyosik's at 200 health, and he's going to be spotted by this ward. And in goes Cuzz now, down to 100. Yeah, no flash available as Pyosik tries to turn it around, but he's not going to be able to. Flashes out immediately, and even gets the flash out of Chovy. Things not going well for DRX early.
Okay, I mean, they had the zombie ward, but Cuzz already spotted that, and he had the sneaky moves, and already have a great jungling than Evelynn at level 2. Because of the invade situation, right? Evelynn lost her flash, and that made up this outcome. So that was my question, you know. Was it actually good situation for DRX? The answer is no.
Absolutely not. As Evelynn forced to head towards the Grump. Shuriken back there from Clozer to get a lot of work done onto Chovy there. You can see already both of these mid laners have been through both of their potions as they do finally dissipate. Looking forward to seeing whether Chovy can continue to lane very effectively, as we do have some words from him. Chovy has good insight into the opponent's weakness, and his laning phase is very strong. He's always been performing well. It's going to be a good experience as he lands another backflip there as Deft down towards the bottom side. The Ignite has been put down. A lot of sticks as Teddy not going to die just yet in the last tick of Ignite. Not enough, but he still has to go home.
Summoner's Trade and DRX got better one. Because it's just Kalista Pantheon, you know? If you have lane control first and those two spearmen just gonna poke you down under the turret, and it just power up the Kalista Pantheon, and I think it was just fine for T1 side because their kill potential is just way too high than any other duo lanes on the bot lane, right? And they didn't die yet, so everything is going great, and it seems like Clozer is having great laning phase on the mid lane, is way more impactful. Well.
And also he's ahead in farm, and that is something that no one really does against Chovy. He's just really good at clearing minions. As Deft. Okay, interesting. Spent some time in the alcove there just for fun. As wants to stop some backs, as you can see. And will stop effort from going home. Staggering back's definitely a good idea. Is Chovy going to take another 1-2 punch there from Clozer. Not the greatest experience here for the Galio right now. Is Keria just looking to hold on to this minion wave for as long as possible.
Yeah. One of the great duo in LCK, Keria.
상대 정글 털고 있구나.
Just rewatch again. He said, I'm controlling.
여기 싸울게.
I'm gonna fight
노플이야,
here.
노플.
Evelynn no flash.
노플이야. 갈리오도 그래. 잡았고.
I got him.
Easy.
Easy.
And that is going to mean T1 has about a 600 gold lead here at this stage. Checking in on the top side, of course, generally not the greatest experience for Renekton in this matchup. And I think Doran would have been relying on Pyosik to get up there and actually try and affect this, but much harder now that he's died so early into the game. And Canna's Jayce, also a difficult one to deal with, as you can see. 80% win rate, not bad at all.
Decent. And Evelynn is all about level 6, right? And
yeah,
nothing's gonna happen, but after level 6, actually DRX has so many tools to help out the side lanes with Galio ulti, Evelynn's passive, and it's all about just have no situations happening around the map before Evelynn's level 6, and their bot lane, they're using their advantage, you know? Advantage from the ban picks. They're just snowballing from 2v2s, and I think that's one of the reasons why DRX is just looking so strong. Even though they have really bad early game competition, they always put some early game part on the bot side, and that helps so many times when DRX is preparing for mid game. And it feels like Pyosik is kind of getting out jungled by Cuzz this time around, though. Maybe because of the invade situation, but after that, I think just Cuzz is having so much better jungling in the jungle side, and the vision control. Already have so many visions around the both side river and also enemy jungle on the top side, so it's really easy to play against Evelynn right now. That means your Jayce can push 24/7, and also your Ashe and Nautilus can play similar.
Well, Keria might get tagged. Nope, bowling ball gonna go wide as Chovy is in the area. Does a fair bit of damage there with the Q.
Okay, Pyosik didn't clear the control ward on the Raptor side yet.
Oh no.
That's critical, by the way. That is actually critical because for Evelynn, it's really important to hide her position, right? It's just champion itself. If you cannot hide yourself, you are useless. And those kind of small mistakes are just stacking, especially when you're playing against strong teams like T1 and playoffs teams. Those small mistakes are gonna change so many different things, and still Pyosik is level 6, so he's gonna try something on the bot side, but I'm not sure if it's gonna work. Lillia is on the top side. Maybe.
Yep. She might get spotted as well, as Pyosik has snuck into The brush down here does have his Demon Shade activated now that he is level 6, of course. As there's the stun immediately. Keria takes a lot of damage. They do get the flash out of effort immediately. The DRX, they invest 4 people down here towards the bottom side and just get 1 F button.
Yeah, great escape from effort, and Galio ultimate is way more impactful for the early game, and his first ulti is kind of wasted, and also Evelynn's position got spotted. During that, Lillia, she just did the jungling, and still better jungling from Cuzz, and that first Galio ulti was really important for them because Pyosik was really useless until then, and first time he was trying, but nothing happened. And Dragon Tempo is just on T1 side, so I think they tried, but it was kind of optimistic ganking on the bot side because of the lane situation. And T1 is just automatically winning the game because of their mistakes. And T1 is just known as that team, even though it seems like they're not doing anything, but slowly you're getting everything on the map side.
Well, you can see Pyosik gonna allure up Shelly here, as spotting the fact that Cuzz was taking the dragon, he immediately gets to work. As you can see, Cuzz making a beeline over there. We'll see whether he can get there in time. Vision available here for DRX, but it looks like Pyosik will be able to grab this with a smite pretty effectively. That bowling ball was actually pretty close. But this is the power of Evelynn. She just does a fair bit of damage. So he's going to be able to lock that one down without having to call the rest of his team over or anything like that. And this could help as far as getting some advantages in these lanes and getting some plate gold over for DRX.
Yeah, they traded Drake and Heather. And it really depends on the usage of this header, because every single lane is kind of just having a hard time because you do not have jungler right now. And this is just having fun with Mana Moon. And also Ashe and Nautilus. Just look at the vision control. Cuzz is already having such a great moves towards bot side. And during that Clozer, I mean, he's not the mid laner who needs so many helps, you know? So it makes it a lot easier. And
oh dear. Okay, not going to go for any dives here towards the bottom side. Just clearing out vision like you were talking about. Definitely effective, as Pyosik unseen at the moment. Having to get my mind back into the Evelynn state, as she does certainly warp how a gank is going to look, as she's going to walk underneath this turret here. The allure goes down. CC not going to connect, as Canna's going to flash himself out of the way. Teleport through from Clozer, and now Doran could be in a whole host of trouble. The flash is down, and so is the Croc. It's 2-0 now for T1.
wait, what was that? Doran tried to flash on, but Pyosik, he didn't react with his flash, and that was really unsynchronized play from their duos on the top lane, because they know that they're trading sides and they have header, right? So obviously they could try a little bit aggressiver, but Pyosik, he was kind of really passive, and even though his top laner was flashing towards enemy top laner, the CC chain was not coming out from them, and also the reaction from Clozer was just on perfect timing, and T1 is just automatically getting every single thing on the map. And yeah,
looking a bit too easy here for these guys. Is Cuzz up towards the top side, Pyosik at the bottom. There's the flash forward effort. No flash, remember, as the arrow will connect onto the Evelynn, but she will survive. The Nautilus not so lucky, as that's the first kill for DRX, but Cuzz looking to try and trade back here towards the top side. Decent stun comes down as he clears out the minions, and Shock Blast is not going to connect. And so Cuzz probably just going to try and steal away as many of the jungle camps as he can.
I think that was really smart move from Pyosik though. DRX forced out Jayce's flash, so because of that, Cuzz kind of forced to go to top side to defend his top laner, right? And Pyosik, he didn't care about it. He just ran to bot side and forced it. I mean, it looked really forced, but you used header kind of effectively, and
yeah,
his Pantheon is kind of available right now, and looking for the top gank with him.
Yeah, in goes Keria as well. Pyosik not going to find that hate spike, but Canna is well and truly dead, and 2 kills now for the Eve. This is huge. They're going to rely on her to do a lot of the work in this game, and thankfully, After that first blood, she is able to get herself back on track with a couple of kills. That Runic Echoes, like we were talking about, just once you get that level 6, once you get that ultimate, certainly able to do a whole lot more work. And now he's ahead by a lot of gold, actually, in comparison to Cuzz.
Yeah, picking up some kills for free. And the bot gank was really impactful as well because your Pantheon is kind of active from that. And those active plays are really needed from Evelynn. I mean, this play was really silly, I would say, because they didn't CC chain with Flash and couldn't pick up the kill. And because of that, T1 was really ahead. But Pyosik, smart move again on the bot side. You forced Nautilus Flash last time, or actually, maybe DRX has forced it on 2v2 because of the CC cooldowns on Nautilus Flash, but so many things are happening at the same time.
Bit of a battle here at the bottom side as Deft pulls in his Pantheon. Effort's going to get knocked up as there's the first kill onto the Nautilus, but Clozer gets into the backline. Great knock up as Deft is going to survive, but Keria not going to be so lucky as now Teddy free hitting as Pyosik comes out of the brush. Teddy trying to fight him out, but he's not going to be able to. The Galio does fall down, but that is still a 2 for 3 in favor of DRX.
So many kill trades are happening, and I think I'm not sure. I mean, because of the objective control, DRX is winning this trade, but Akali, Clozer is getting fat as well, and those kill trades are I think she likes to do some kill trades when they're playing Akali. So I think DRX, they're doing more as a team though. Those Keria and Pyosik moves are really active. Good to see it. And maybe the outcome was not that perfect because of the Clozer's Akali plays, but still, you know, DRX playing as a team, not doing some random things like just did on the top side.
Yep. I did like the amount of peel that they had for Deft as well.
Yeah.
As he was able to survive, even though, you know, the second application of the perfect execution did land on top of him. It was a bit of a tongue twister. Glad we got through it. As Doran and Canna fighting one another here towards the top side, because making his way in, but there's a lot of vision, and Pyosik's also making his way over. He's taken the Sorcerer's Shoes. We've seen quite a few Eves like to pick up things like the mobility boots, but Pyosik just wants as much damage as possible. We'll see what that second item is going to be. It might be just the OG... what is it, Elise build with Oblivion Orb picked up for the first big item spike. You know, a couple of magic penetration items as well as your Runic Echoes.
Yeah.
We'll see where he does decide to go as Chovy getting over here. Wants to try and find some vision as Shirley should be picked up here by T1 with no contest. That is going to be the case, but Pyosik lying in wait now towards the top lane. Even levels with Cuzz right now as effort. He's thinking about trying to take down Chovy, but he gets rid of the minion wave, and he's going to be out of there. As Teddy relegated to farming some Krugs, as his turret is definitely going down.
Yeah, because of the jungle pressure, I think Canna is not able to play his game on the top side. When you have Jayce against Renekton, you are just free to have some free laning phase. But after level 6, I think Pyosik maybe mistakes about one top play, but after that, he's picking up so many good plays with it, and those are just reason why you pick up Evelynn in solo queue, because you put so much pressure on them. But,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so hard to pick up some kills on pro scene, but it happened already because of the DRX's game plan. That those Kalista Pantheon was just so great tools for Evelynn on the bot side. So that actually made Evelynn really fat in the early game. And I think that was just great game plan from DRX. And it really depends on Pyosik right now, I think. You just need to have some great DOQ on the bot side with Renekton. And it's gonna enable side lane, right? And they just need to group mid S5 and flank on them with Galio ulti, flanking Evelynn on the bottom side. But I think T1, they forced it pretty in a great tempo. They kind of like separated in this kind of situation. DRX, they were getting so many things at the same time, but missed on the mid position. So they lost mid first turret, and I think this time around T1 had better rotation, but they just need to try these things again and again. And it depends on Canna if he's gonna step up or not.
Yeah, looks like he's not going to. Doran just shoves that wave forward. Control ward coming down as Pyosik. Going to spot that one, not going to give his position away as there are a lot of pings down from T1 on the bottom side. Canna understanding that there could definitely be something up.
Oh, yeah.
As Chovy will find this ward, and T1 are going to get to work on this outer turret on the top side of the map as well. I think this should put T1 in the lead unless Doran can also get himself a turret. And as Clozer getting to work here in the mid lane. 1 turret to 2 right now. The DRX, after those couple of battles, have been able to wrestle themselves back into very, very close as far as the gold is concerned. I want to step in and have a look at Pyosik's item build because I thought it might be the Oblivion Orbs. Not going to be. He's going to go straight into the Lich Bane for as much damage as possible. I absolutely love it. That's what we're talking about. Just get the burst. And killing Lillia before she has time to get a few spells off and really get that passive working is a really smart idea. So I actually don't mind this for Pyosik if he is going to be hunting down deer in the jungle.
Yeah, and maybe if you didn't see many of Evelynns, then you can just maybe think in this way that it's actually AP Nocturne when it comes to mid-late game on the side lane. There is just so much pressure on side laners when it comes to when you're playing against Nocturne or Evelynn kind of champion, because you cannot see, and even though you have vision control, you can never step up on the side lane, and that gives so many things on your team because side lane pressure helps mid lane prior. So
well, now we can see T1 have started off the Drake, but I think they're looking for a fight rather than a Cloud Drake. Evelynn completely out of vision. Doran is going to pop his head over. Keria is going to flash his way in. The ulti needs to come out from Deft as he does. Finally press that button. Pyosik has to use the Agony's Embrace in order to get himself out. And he's not in this fight anymore. Clozer wants to shut him down, and he will do so. A double kill already for the T1 new mid laner. That's a good taunt out from Chovy, though, as Doran slices his way forward, and Deft gets himself a double kill. Canna and Teddy now against Deft and Doran. Top and 80 carry to try and carry this one out, but it's an even fight once again. All right, there's the flash forward. Teddy immediately Captain Jacks that one, as the heal will kill Teddy there. Doran drops turret aggro exactly when he needs to, and Deft wants to try and go for the jewel, but isn't able to against Canna, and it stays even, guys.
oh yeah, it's just that even. I thought DRX had the better positioning, but because of the efforts first hook, he actually canceled the Pantheon stun, so that fight kind of made even though DRX's position was just so much better for the fight. And after that Clozer, his Akali was just so great in a backline, and right after that just Chovy with the 4-man stun right into the face again. And just so many fights are going around, and those two teams are just having so high quality of team fights, so I'm just glad to watch this.
Yeah, it is definitely bloodthirsty as DRX are going to teleport in. They still want to fight for this. We're going to go take 2 with a whole lot of buttons now on cooldown. Grand Skyfall is there if DRX are looking for an R button, and we've got Lilting Lullaby. We've got an arrow there as well, as Clozer has his ulti back available also. So T1 definitely more fight ready here than DRX, who are going to be able to take down the Drake, but a fight once again going to start. Doran immediately going to be taken down as Pyosik gets out of the fight, but Deft may not be as lucky this time around. Keria has the shield, but he doesn't have his life. And DRX do get out a couple of members, but they're going to lose 3 in the trade, and T1 walk away victorious.
T1's team fight setup is just so much better than DRX that was, and the engage from Teddy was just so perfect in the right timing, and also just jumping in closer at the same time, and just their poke potential is just so much better long range than DRX right now, and they're just using their team composition right, and their understanding about their team composition is so much better than DRX, it seems like, because when DRX has no ultimates, they're kind of useless. Galio, Evelynn, and Kalista, those champions really needed their ultimates, but T1, they don't really care. They just need to have better positioning. They just need to not getting flanked by Evelynn and Renekton, and this time around, they could spot out all the members from DRX, so team fight was just way more easier for T1 side. And this is really impressive performance by Clozer, actually.
Yeah, really, really cool. I just don't think that T1 should ever lose that sort of team fight, though, with DRX missing most of their ultimates. They only had Grand Skyfall, and that wasn't even available to be used based on the positioning of the Pantheon. So, a little bit unfortunate. It's the first time that we're going to see a more tanky version of Lillia. Gone for the Dead Man's Plate this time around, also with a Spectre's Cowl. Generally, with this build, you still need Leandries, right? So Cuzz not going to be doing very much damage here, but doesn't seem to really matter, as they now have the Baron that they picked up off the back of that team fight. And DRX stay on the back foot.
I think with that build, Lillia is like fruit flies, you know? It doesn't harm you, but it's actually really annoying.
Well, she's going to fall asleep for the moment, and is going to survive. Clozer splitting on the bottom side. This T1 looking to siege with their 4 members here. Chovy tries to dive forward, but as you can see, bowling balls, everything's sort of just flying on in.
Potential.
Chovy using his proto belt, and yeah, you can't really get anything done here as Clozer does have teleport, so if a fight does happen, the Akali cleanup could certainly be just around the corner. As the poke out, and also T1 just being able to stand here and deny DRX from stopping Clozer seems to be working very, very well at this point in time. DRX just look like they don't know what to do.
The wave is just perfectly synced by T1 side, and I mean, you have the timing, you know, when enemy team is just syncing wave with the Nashor buff, you just need to engage on them. But because of the poke potential from T1, they lost the timing, they lost the tempo. That's the reason why DRX seems like a bit lost here. And just look at how cleanly T1 is just rotating towards outer turrets. You know? It's just like using their team comp right and having a better knowledge about the game, I guess. At least in this game.
Definitely true. Keria looking to try and jump on top of Canna here, as it looks like DRX will be able to... just going to be able to get the Rift Scuttler. Good try there from Canna, who will get himself a Constellation blue buff. No, he's going to give that one over to Clozer. A little bit unfortunate there, but energy regen always fantastic for the Akali, especially after a couple of her nerfs.
Yeah, and one thing is really weird from DRX side, because before, when Evelynn was really fed with 3-0 KDA, they were looking for side lane plays, right? Not looking for team fight 24/7. But at some point, it feels like DRX is kind of forced to do something in the team fight when their team comp is not built around that, actually. And
they need to catch people in side lanes, right? They need to use their Grand Skyfall and their heroic entrance in order to create like skewed fights, especially around Pyosik, who can get into positions that can be confusing. Shock Blast's going to land onto him, speaking of which, as the flash comes out to dodge to the skies. Allure comes forward, but Pyosik not going to be able to find any CC. He will just slink away, now looking to go back home and try and join the defense here. As T1 have themselves a 5,000 gold lead. Clouddrake going to be up in 14 seconds time. And T1's certainly going to have a pretty comfortable rotation over there if that's where they want to go. Baron up in 2 minutes time. So not really going to be traded or anything like that.
Yeah, if they really want to do a team fight, then they just need to engage right away before they get poked. Otherwise, they're gonna get kiked. And yeah, I mean, you cannot even engage on form, and then the map rotation is gonna just fall down. So either you just need to play side lane only and look for backdoor ending. Otherwise, just look for instant engage from the Renekton flank with Evelynn, with the Galio ulti on the top. Otherwise, I think T1 is just gonna get every single thing on the map, and DRX is not gonna do anything. And
that seems to be what's happening right now.
Yeah, that is happening because they're not doing anything either on the map from DRX side.
Well, good news for DRX. They have a 26 gold lead by Deft in the bottom lane. Bad news is that Clozer is extraordinarily far ahead of Chovy.
Yeah.
2.3 thousand gold is nothing to scoff at all. In fact, that's he has over half the gold lead just on himself in that mid lane as Pyosik. The flash forward there onto Cuzz, but he's going to flash out. Flash in from Effort, but he lands onto a minion. A lot of that CC soaked up by Chovy is into the backline. Goes Doran. He looks for Cuzz, but Cuzz is so tanky. They're not able to kill him. The new look Lillia with these tank items. I thought Dead Man's Plate was going to come in eventually, but only tank items? Just ridiculous. As Canna chases down the Crocodile, turns him into a handbag very comfortably. And T1 walk away with a kill, and now into a Baron that's going to be up in 13 seconds. And there's going to be no top laner from DRX for at least the next 35.
I mean, obviously in real life, it's really hard to catch fruit flies. There is so many fruit flies in your room, and you cannot even catch it, because it just flies. And it seems like Lillia is just so useful with those builds, because you cannot even kill her, and she's still doing some damage, right?
Yeah, the dots actually do a fair bit of work if you can just spread them around and keep that fight going for a long period of time. With the amount of teamfight control that T1 has, certainly does work out. I think it's really intelligent, as there's a decent pullback from Effort. Chovy having to flash to get himself out of the way. Teddy chasing after him, finds Deft there with the hawk shot as he flashes forward. He knows that he's safe, and Chovy not so much, as the shock blast not going to get him, but it at least will still fall down. Fair bit of damage from Pyosik as the watch out eat does not connect. Looking to try and put the Evelynn to sleep, but doesn't even fall down there, as Canna is going to kill him before that even happens. And now from the DRX base, the Jayce is trying to fight them down. Doran picks up one kill though, and Jayce will eventually fall, as Deft is very high health. And now trying to chase after the T1 members that are still here. Fair bit of damage available from these guys, as Clozer not going to get tagged by that Pierce. But Deft just keeping himself healthy, trying to chase after them. Let's see whether he can actually turn this one around, as Blade of the Ruined King comes out. And Deft not going to fall, but neither are any of the members of T1. As Grand Skyfall to get Keria in here.
Yeah.
Nothing comes of it.
I think this is a great chance for DRX. Maybe they need to force Nashor at this point, because this is kind of inting moment from T1. They could just really just go for Nashor after winning the team fight, but they kind of inted under the inhibitor turret, and they enjoyed the moment.
They got a little bit excited, didn't they? As Clozer was thinking about backflipping forward, but not going to dive into three people. That's smart. Chovy's on the bottom side, teleport at the ready. You can see Pyosik moving up towards the top. As we're going to have a look at this one more time, definitely it looked like T1 were feeling themselves a little bit more than maybe they should.
Yeah. Maybe it was not great engaged by Effort, but because of Cuzz, just look at how annoying is that champion. And you cannot even kill her. And she still does some damage and CC. And that helped out T1 to clean up the Renekton. And after that, DRX, they forced to check the Nashor vision. Because of that Chovy face check, and he died. And I thought T1 is just gonna win in the 5 minutes, but they need to limit test before the playoffs.
Yeah, it's a bit of DRX syndrome. They certainly love the limit testing as well, and you know, when you're facing them, sometimes it can rub off. As you can see, Canna was able to clean up Pyosik, but he's inside the enemy base. As we've got another fight breaking out immediately. Huge knockups will land here onto DRX. The heroic entrance does zone a lot of the members, but Clozer still finds the backline. That's a good knockup onto the Akali, but he lands the backflip, takes down the Pantheon, and T1 have turned it all back around. Deft not going to be able to get them all here, as they do go down relatively low, but he's slowed, and Teddy will finish this one up. Double kill for the Ashe. That's the ace, and that will be the game here for T1.
Yeah, and Clozer, he's definitely ace for T1, and so many analysts and people were just thinking that, yeah, I mean, Clozer is good player, but it's still like, we're not sure if he's good or not, because you didn't play against Showmaker and Chovy, and this time around, I think he proves himself that he is a top of the LCK mid laner against Chovy, against DRX, and that's the game one for T1.